Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of What's This Host City. I'm your host Roy, this is ESC United, and today we are in the beautiful city of Maastricht. Now, Maastricht is a city located towards the south of the Netherlands. It is the capital of the province of Limburg, and it has around 120,000 inhabitants, and with that it is the smallest potential host city for Eurovision 2020. Now we're going to show you the venue, of course. We're going to go to the city center and we're going to throw a lot of facts at you. So without further ado, let's go. So we have arrived to the proposed venue for Maastricht. It is the MEC. It stands for Maastricht's Exposition Congress Center. Yes, it's a very complicated name for such a venue, I guess. There's not really that much to show, really. It's like a bit of a square right now with like a parking lot, and then you have the venue out of nowhere. It's kind of like hidden a bit between all of the buildings. It's also not as tall as most of the buildings are around us, but hey, that's I guess what you have to do with. So the MEC was kind of originates around 1961. They had a different hall here before, and they kind of transformed it into the MEC, what it is right now. They have proposed this venue, and they can say that they can host around 13,000 people when Eurovision comes here. I think it would be that side of the building. It's a bit of the higher part. I mean, it's a bit difficult to estimate because it's not that big of a venue actually. And yeah, they say they can hold 13,000 people. I'm not too sure, but hey, let's check it out.
That we got going, you hold the strings without me knowing. Why do I have to suffer through the thinking? Why do I have the feeling that we're sinking? I need to find a way.
So we just looked inside the venue. It's actually kind of big. It's not the biggest ever, and there's like a little bit of a pole section in the middle of the two halls. It's like on that side is a bit of a higher roof hall, and on the other side it's a bit lower. We could just walk in and we could just look around a little. I'm not sure if we were even allowed to, but we did it anyways. But yeah, there's not that much to show really. I can show you a little round of what it looks like to be on the parking lot, I guess. But yeah. They're also not really known to organize big events in this venue. They usually have all the big events more in the city center. It's usually open air what they organize in Maastricht. So it's just congresses really that come here. So I'm a little bit maybe afraid of how it would be if Eurovision comes here, because they don't have that many experience with big audiences. But hey, without further ado, let's dive into the city. It should be beautiful. Let's go. So, before we dive into the city center, it is time for your favorite segment of the episode. It is time for Random Fact of the episode. And today's random fact is, of course, about homeless people. Yes, Maastricht is one of the cities in the Netherlands that barely has any homeless people scattered around. That's because they have like a bit of a policy going on where they give a shelter to ex-prisoners or to people who don't have that much money. So, yeah, Maastricht doesn't really have a lot of homeless people. So that's my random fact of the episode. Let's dive into the city center. So unfortunately we couldn't really film on the place where you would normally have the Eurovision Village. We could have already seen things in the bid book, so we already know that they planned to have it on the Vrijthof, which is a big square in the middle of the city center. I tried to film there a little bit, and that was sort of possible, but there's a big concert going on from André Rieu right now. He's like a big famous violinist, I think. People probably know it. David will probably insert like a clip of it right now into the video. So David, take it away, man. Just insert into the video. Now let's talk airports. Yes, let's talk airports real quick. So what are the nearby airports in Maastricht? Well, you have a little one in Maastricht itself, but it doesn't go to that many destinations, so it's not the ideal situation for a lot of people. Now you have, as a Dutch airport, Eindhoven is the closest by. It's about 1 hour 15 minutes of it's about 1 hour and 15 minutes away. But you could also go to Germany or Belgium. Germany is Düsseldorf. It's about 1 hour and 5 minutes, Belgium is Luik. Luik or Liège or whatever you want to call it. It is 35 minutes, I think. Yes, I think it was 35 minutes if I remember correctly. So without further ado, let's check out the city for a little bit more. I'm sorry that I couldn't really film on the Vrijthof itself, but trust me, it is a beautiful place to have Eurovision Village. A lot of churches around it, a lot of cafes around it. It is really, really good. Definitely the best I've seen so far. So yeah, without further ado, let's check out the city.
The feelings that I found in this whole damn thing that we got going. You hold the strings without me knowing. Why do I have to suffer through the thinking? Why do I have the feeling that we're sinking? I need to find a way.
So guys, that was our day in Maastricht. It was a very long, very good day. We filmed a lot. I hope I showed you guys enough. I hope it comes across how beautiful this city truly is. Let's go to me in the future editing this video to give our review about Maastricht. So I hope I see you guys there too. Let's go home. So we are back in our little apartment. Yes, we've been to Maastricht, so we've been to all the cities that were in the race for potential Eurovision host city. It was really exciting to do this series, I guess. Maastricht was incredible, and I've never been there my entire life. And it was a hell to get there because, you know, it's like a 3.5 hour train drive because they were also like busy doing something with the train station nearby where I live. And then we also had a bit of a delay, so in total we drove 7.5 hours in the train to get to Maastricht and back. And then we were there for like 6 hours too, so it was super tiring. But hey, we're back, it's time to do the review of Maastricht, so without further ado, let's get into it. So you guys know, of course, that we're gonna do everything in 5 categories. We have venue, we have accessibility, city design, tourism, and the Eurovision factor. So yeah, let's get into the venue. So the venue, of course, is the MEC. The MEC is a bit of an expo center, just like we had last year in Tel Aviv. It is not the biggest, of course. I managed to film a little bit inside. Not sure how it turned out on camera because it was rather dark inside. I hope it turned out all right. But yeah, it doesn't really host that many people. They say that they can have around 11,000 people. That would be okay-ish, but not the best. There is definitely space to put a press center up, to have press conferences in a hall. So you do have other facilities around the venue itself to, to have all the things situated that you need for Eurovision. So that kind of means that it isn't the worst, it isn't the best, it's a bit above average, I think. So I'm gonna give 3.5 stars for the venue, the MEC. So, accessibility. Yes, I just told an entire story of me having to travel 3.5 hours to get to Maastricht, and I'm Dutch. Just let that sink in, okay? I'm Dutch and I have to travel 3.5 goddamn hours to get to Maastricht. And it's even from Schiphol, it is a super long ride too. So if you come over from, let's say, Georgia, and you have to get into Amsterdam Schiphol airport, that is like probably around 4 hours, 5 hours of a flight already. Then you're at Schiphol, then you also need to travel another 3 to 4 hours to Maastricht. You'll be tired when you get there. That is definitely not good. Now there are of course closer by airports in Eindhoven or in Luik or what's the other one in Germany? Düsseldorf? I think Düsseldorf has the other airport. those are definitely closer by, but to be honest, then you're in a different country, right? It's a lot better to just stay in the Netherlands. We didn't win for a reason. We didn't win to just have everybody from Germany, Belgium and France going to the contest and not any Dutchies being there, right? If you win, you just want to be there as a Dutchie. And I'm not so sure if Maastricht would be the best option in that regard. So yeah, the accessibility is not the best. I mean, the venue is rather close by the city center, so that's really good. We did all by foot, basically. We walked around the city for 16 kilometers. It's mad. But yeah, 2 stars for accessibility from me. I mean, you do have the airports, international airports nearby from other countries, but you kind of want to stay in the same country, right? That's a lot more fun for the Dutchies. On to the next thing, city design. Oh my god, I fell in love with the city. Maastricht is beautiful. We went there with like expectations of it being a pretty city and whatnot. A lot of people said it was good. I had a guide who couldn't really guide me. She just sent me a few things that I should check out, and we just had contact via WhatsApp. But I went there with my cameraman, and we were just tired after that 4-hour dreadful train drive. We had just filmed a few things already. And then once we got into the city center, it was so beautiful. It was just like we went back in time. All the cobblestones are still in the streets. It's just like the old days, and it is such an amazingly beautiful city. And besides that, the people there are amazing too. Like they're so warm and welcoming. We sat on a terrace, and there was a lady coming up to us. We wanted to pay for our drinks that we just had. And she just was super interested in what we were going to do, so we told her that we were going to film around the city and just do this for YouTube. She also asked us what channel that would be, so I'm not sure if she would watch it. If you watch that, shout out to you. But yeah, it was really fun, and the people are amazing there too. So, I mean, it's already city design, but it still it needs a mention, right? So it's absolutely gorgeous city, Maastricht is. So without a shadow of doubt, 5 stars for the city design for me. On to tourism. Now, look, Maastricht is really pretty on its own. I feel like I didn't have enough time in one day to check out everything. I felt when I was there, it was the first city that I really had it with. I was there and I was like, I want to see so much more. I didn't see the grottos, I didn't see the caves, I didn't really have the chance to really look inside the churches. They have the most beautiful churches ever. Like the red one was really pretty. There were a few really old ones. I just didn't have enough time to just look at everything in one day. So I honestly think that tourism is really good around there. And you can visit things in Germany, you can visit things in Belgium. There's also pretty cities in Belgium, definitely. And, it isn't the best when you compare it to other things to do in the Netherlands. Like if you want to go to the Netherlands to, for example, go to the Keukenhof, I'm just saying something, then that is definitely a long train drive. So that is not the best. So I'm gonna give 4 stars for tourism, just because you have a lot of things to do there, but if you want to explore other things in the Netherlands, it's not the best maybe. But 4 stars is still a very high rating because it's so good. On to the next, the Eurovision factor. Now, I'm not from that region. I don't really know much about it. So I asked my lovely guide, who helped me incredibly well, what she thought about it. And she said, yeah, we don't really have that many LGBTQ things necessarily. The overall feeling in the city is very positive towards it, right? And she said, we don't really have like a big overarching thing about it. We don't really have a super big image of LGBTQ or other kind of things. But it's definitely there, and they're not offensive against that anyway. And that's kind of what she told me. And besides that, we have the Vrijthof, the big square in the middle where they had a concert of André Rieu. It was really annoying that we couldn't film there, but it's such a big square, so Eurovision Village would really be good there. And they've already publicized their plans for Eurovision 2020, and they look really good, because the Vrijthof is going to be the Eurovision Village if it comes to Maastricht, and that is an amazing place to have it, like so good. So I'm giving the Eurovision factor 3.5 stars out of 5. Now, that gives a grand total of, let me see here, if I did calculate it correctly, I think I did. So drum rolls! Stars for Maastricht. You know, we have the factor of 2 on the venue from 3.5, and the rest, you know, it adds up. That is definitely not high. Kind of surprised how not high it is for being the final 2 cities. But don't count out Maastricht. The plans that they've proposed are so good. Like, if it were to go to Maastricht, I wouldn't be mad. I think it would be incredible. They have a good plan. The venue is really good. We've seen a lot of things already that they're gonna do, and I think we will be up for one of the best Eurovisions ever. But you know, it is a bit weird to have it in southern Netherlands where not a lot of Dutchies can reach it and a lot of other people will reach it easily. But is that really what you want if you're the host? Not really sure. But yeah, that was it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've seen enough of the beautiful city as well. I hope we showed you guys enough. Make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Make sure to check out our website, our forum. Make sure to check out Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check out my Instagram. And yeah, I think that's everything I needed to mention. Huge shout out to David who helped me editing all these videos, and we'll probably do a lot more projects in the future. If you want to see anything from me, you know, I'm Dutch, so I can probably do things rather easily for you guys. Just say it in the comment section. But without further ado, I need to edit this episode, and I'll see you guys in our next video. So, goodbye.